Welcome back to Lessons Straight from the Heart, the podcast where stories shape destiny. I'm your host, Male Dopsy. Today, we're talking about loss. Not just the big ones like losing a loved one, but the everyday ones too. Losing friendships, losing dreams, losing time you can't get back. It hurts, it humbles. But if you listen close enough, loss will also leave you a gift. Let me tell you about a time I lost something I thought I could never live without. There was a plan and a timeline. A perfect checklist for how my life was supposed to go. Graduate at this age, career by that age, family by this date. But then life laughed. Plans crumbled. Deadlines passed. At first, I panicked, then I mourned. But here's what losing my map taught me. I wasn't lost, I was being rerouted. Every unexpected turn introduced me to a version of myself I would have never met otherwise. The life I live now, it's richer, deeper, and far more beautiful than the one I planned. Sometimes losing the map is how you finally find the journey. If you've ever lost something that forced you to find yourself, drop a comment with hashtag #LostAndFound and tell us what life taught you after the loss. Remember to follow, like, share, and subscribe to your channel so you're notified when we drop our latest episodes. You can also drop us a comment, send us a DM, or an email about your story. Remember, life is a story, and we tell it together. Now let's hear from a viewer in Johannesburg, South Africa, Lindiwe, who found strength in losing something she thought defined her.
Hi, I'm Lindiwe from Johannesburg. When I lost my job during the pandemic, it felt like my world collapsed. I didn't just lose income, that I lost identity. I lost confidence. For months, I battled depression. I thought I had nothing left to offer. Until one afternoon, a neighbor asked if I could teach their daughter how to sew. I started with one student, then another, then 10 more. Today, I run a sewing school for women who want to rebuild their lives too. The lesson? Sometimes losing what you think defines you gives you the space to define yourself.
If you've ever lost something that forced you to find yourself, drop a comment with hashtag #LostAndFound and tell us what life taught you after the loss. Remember to follow, like, share, and subscribe to your channel so you're notified when we drop our latest episodes. You can also drop us a comment, send us a DM, or an email about your story. Remember, life is a story, and we tell it together. Now, let's hear from a viewer in Miami, Mateo, who learned that some losses make room for unexpected blessings.
Hey, I'm Mateo from Miami. I lost my first love when she moved away for school. We promised to stay connected, but life had other plans. At first, I couldn't imagine moving on. I replayed every memory like a favorite song on repeat. But with time, I realized her chapter in my life wasn't meant to be the whole book. I opened my heart again, that I met new people. I grew in ways I never thought possible. The lesson? Not every loss is a punishment. Sometimes it's preparation for a bigger, better love story still being written.
Today, we have a special story from a young listener named Zee Zee. Her letter touched me because it's about something so simple, yet so profound, learning the meaning of loss and responsibility. Let's hear her story.
Dear Male Dopsy, my name is Zee Zee, and I want to tell you about the lesson that changed me. Growing up, I was the carefree girl, the one who never worried about anything. I'd go to school with my water bottle, my food flask, my favorite cardigan, and by the end of the day, gone. Lost. Forgotten. Again. At first, it didn't seem like a big deal. Mom will buy another one, I'd think. But then, I started noticing things. Like the way my mom's face would tighten when I told her I lost my jacket again. Or how my dad would sigh and ask, "Zee Zee, do you know how hard we work to get these things for you?" One day, after I lost my third school sweater that term, my mom sat me down. She didn't shout. She just looked tired. "Zee Zee," she said, "when you lose things, it's not just about the money. It's about the time, the stress, the love behind them. Do you think we enjoy replacing what you don't even try to keep?" That hit me hard. I realized my carefree attitude wasn't just my problem. It was hurting the people who loved me most. So, I made a decision. If I don't care for my things, who will? I started paying attention. I kept my water bottle in my bag when I wasn't drinking. I hung my cardigan on my chair instead of tossing it aside. I checked my belongings before leaving school. And you know what? My parents noticed. One evening, my dad smiled and said, "Zee Zee, your flask has lasted a whole month." That small praise meant more than any toy. Male Dopsy, I learned that caring isn't just about things, it's about respect. Respect for what you have, and for the people who give it to you. Now, when I see my little sister leaving her toys everywhere, I tell him, take care of them, or one day, they won't be there. Because loss isn't just about missing items, it's about missing the love behind them. Thank you for letting me share my story. Zee Zee.
Zee Zee's story is a reminder that responsibility isn't just a grown-up word, it's a way of showing love. How many of us have taken things for granted? How often do we forget that what we have is someone else's effort, someone else's sacrifice? Let Zee Zee's lesson sink in. What we care for lasts. What we neglect disappears. Parents, guardians, tag a carefree child who needs to hear this. Kids, share this with a friend who's always losing their things. And if this resonated with you, send us your own story. Let's learn from each other. Now tell me what loss left behind a treasure you didn't expect. Was it strength? A new dream? A deeper love? Share it in the comments or send us a message. You never know who your story could heal. Losing something you thought you needed doesn't end your story. A tear refines it. Trust what life is making room for. Subscribe, share this episode with someone who's mourning a loss, and remember, what's meant for you will never be lost to you. Follow at Male Dopsy on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and X.